Yo, what's going on? Good people. Let's get this set up over here. What's going on? Happy Monday. It is Monday. We are still here, still alive. Still going, still moving, still creating, still building. What's going on, everybody? Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram Live. What is happening? What is the deal? What is going on? Happy Monday to all of you out there in cyber world. I don't know what is happening over here. Stay in studio until your recordings are uploaded. Yes, you know that. What are you telling me though? What are you showing me? I don't know what is comments. There we go. I don't know what that other thing was. What's going on? My brother? Peace and love. How you doing? Welcome to another episode of SR Daily. I'm your boy, your host, LaShawn Sugar Marston, and you are tuned into episode 299 of SR Daily. Episode 299 on this beautiful, cold Monday morning here in New York City, man. We are just one episode away from our milestone episode 300. Tomorrow it is going down in New Jersey, milestone episode 300. 300 episodes into this talk show. A lot of challenges, man, a lot of changes. A lot of things have happened since we started the show in 2023. But we are still going. All right, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. right here. You can catch me and SR Daily, where personality meets enlightenment, 5 days a week, 30 minutes a day. Super excited. Let us pull up these notes, and we are going to get the show started. It is a lot to discuss today, man. If you know, I don't really talk about sports much on here, but obviously yesterday was the Super Bowl. Congratulations to the Philadelphia Eagles. I don't watch much of football over the last few years. I'll catch a game or two here, depending on where I'm at, who I'm with, right? But it's not something that I'm overly committed to, but always, for the most part, excited for athletes, for young people, for people to win. Yesterday, Philadelphia Eagles got their second Super Bowl. The city of Philadelphia is extremely happy. Shout out to Jalen Hurts. Philadelphia is actually my son's team. My son loves the Eagles, right? So shout out to him. He is very happy. He is very excited. My little cousin's an Eagles fan. I got some Eagles fans in my family who are happy right now, right? They get a lot of flack. I've been historically a Cowboys fan, same division, so it's always an argument. It's always some beef, right? Not real beef, not real arguments, but it's always something. But Super Bowl yesterday, Kendrick Lamar halftime performance was super dope. It was very artistic. It was very, it was powerful. It was absolutely powerful. It was tasteful. It was, some subliminals, right? Samuel Jackson, Uncle Sam, Serena Williams crip walking, right? SZA performing, super dope. Terrible game though from the Chiefs. Chiefs could not be the first team in NFL history to win 3 in a row. Still has not been done. 3 Super Bowls, right? 3 Super Bowls is 3 championships in any sport is very tough. But football, when your body goes through the most, it is very impossible to win 1, let alone 2, let alone 3. They made it to the 3rd one in a row, could not win it. So shout out to them for all the greatness they've experienced over the years, all of the wins that they've experienced over the years. But it came to an end yesterday with the Philadelphia Eagles becoming the 2024-2025 NFL champions. But let us get into the show. So we're going to start the show with our first segment. Once again, before we go, I'm your boy, your host, LaShawn Sugar Marston. You are tuned into episode 299 of SR Daily. 299 of 299 episodes in. Once again, we are just one episode away from milestone episode 300. Tomorrow we will be live in New Jersey, West New York, New Jersey, Ben and Jerry's. Live studio audience, episode 300. We're going to have some guests. We're going to talk Black history. We're going to talk Black culture. We're going to get into it. It's going to be a great show tomorrow. But now let's start today. We start today's with our first segment. And today's first segment is the word of the day. Today's word of the day is intention. Intention, intention, intention. Intention is an aim or plan, what one intends to do or bring about, a determination to act in a certain way. An aim or plan, what one intends to do or bring about, a determination to act in a certain way. What are your intentions? What are your intentions, right? Not just what are your intentions for dating someone, not simply what are your intentions for seeking this, specific job or career. Those are important. But what are your intentions for life? What is your intention for living, right? What are you aiming or planning, right? What are you intending to bring about, right? What are you committed to bringing about, right? What is your determination to act in a certain way, right? Is it so many people say they just want to make the world a better place, yet they live in ways that contribute to the destruction of the world. They live in ways that contribute to the pain of so many people, right? So you can say something, but having an intention is completely different. Having an intention is different than just saying what you want. Sharing your dreams is different than that, right? It's what is your will? What is your will? What is your internal clock, your internal compass? What is it set on, right? Is it set on real, genuine love and prosperity and good health for yourself, for your family, for your community, for the people of the world? What is it set on? This is something that we got to start to think about, right? Again, we don't live as humans as intentionally as we should. Most don't. Some do. Some live very intentionally. They're very intentional with their time. They're intentional with what they eat. They're intentional with when they eat. They're intentional with how they dress, with who they hang around with, all of the things, right? But many are not, right? Specifically, a lot of us, what's been coming up in conversation recently, a lot of people don't have, or a lot of people are having children without intention. A lot of children are being born because of the good feelings of intercourse, not because two people were intentional about bringing about a life together. Two people were not intentional about creating a life. And something that made me, I guess, a little sad a few years ago, right? Because it was a conversation I had with a friend of mine, a family friend, and it was just a representation of just so many issues that we have as a society, human family, let alone Black folks, right? But so I was in the park, had my children in the park, and my homegirl was in the park with her daughter, right? And she asked me when I was having more children, and this is when my ex-wife and I had just split, and I was like, well, I gotta find a partner first. My ex and I, we're breaking up, we're splitting. So before I even think about having another child, I got to think about who I'm going to be with. All right, I got to get married again. All right, I got to have a certain amount of income. Right, having my daughter, right, like raising my son, but then having my daughter from birth, it's like I realized that I'm telling her, like, a lot of things you can't prepare for, but what you can prepare for is, as and maybe not even fully, but some level of financial security. Which I did not bring my daughter into the world with financial security, so I'm like, I need to create that before I think about bringing another child into the world. And she says, my homegirl says, "Oh, it sounds like a lie." I said, "Yeah, I got a plan." She said, "Oh, you got a plan? Like, who does that?" I'm like, she's like, "Yeah, neither one." She has two children, right? Two children, two guys. She's like, "Neither one of my children, out of a plan. I didn't plan. Neither one of them was planning. We was getting it in. It felt good, and then boom, two babies." I'm like, "Yo, that's so real for so many of our people, right? It's been real for me, right? I've created children, out of a good feeling. None of them ever made it to this realm, right? I have only one biological child, but I understood. But I said, that's something that we got to change. We should not be just bringing children into the world because we're having intercourse with somebody and it feels good. That should not be children's origin story. Now, mind you, all is divine. Things happen the way they should. right? You can take something that quote unquote wasn't supposed to be, something that was like maybe unfavorable, and you could transmute it. You could make it something different, right? You could take a tough situation, make it a beautiful one. 100%, absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt. However, let's be more intentional with who we're sleeping with who we're laying with who we are creating a child with. Let's be more intentional, not just with who we're creating a child, but let's be intentional about when we create that child, right? Where are we in our lives, right? Like, what do I have going on? What do you have going on? What do we want to work towards, right? Does it make sense right now? Doesn't make sense at all, right? But I think that specifically, like, I think we need to live with intention more as a global family and in every aspect of our lives. But specifically, I think Black folks, we need to be more intentional with creating and rearing children, because there are so many children who are born and they are abused by their parents. The parents don't have the patience, they don't have the intellect, they don't have the emotional capacity to raise and to rear another human being, to be responsible for another human being. They don't want to do it. They get mad when children are moving slow. They rush in. Their life is not in order in such a way where children bring an asset. A lot of times people have children and it becomes a liability. The child becomes a liability. Parents are mad at their children. You making me late. You giving me a headache. You making me sick, right? Like you ruin my body, right? You ruin my free time. Don't have children in, right? Don't have children in if that's how you feel. So like, I encourage all of us to be more intentional with having children, right? Again, be more intentional in general in your life, but specifically be more intentional with making babies. Please, 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 please be more intentional with making babies. Yo, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Peace and love, peace and love, peace and love, peace and love. How you doing? Thanks for tuning in. Let us move right along to our second segment of the day. Today's second segment, need to know news of the day. So much happening, so much happening in the world, and I wanted to read a little bit about what's going on in Congo. Again, there's a lot happening all over the world, but this is BBC. I wanted to get into who's pulling the strings in the DR Democratic Republic of Congo crisis. Right, this is from 2 days ago. The seizure by M23 rebels of vast tracts of land in the mineral-rich east of the Democratic Republic of Congo has triggered a humanitarian and diplomatic crisis involving several neighboring countries. An alarming number of African armies already have troops deployed in the conflict zone, which has a long history of outside interference. The DR Congo is so vast, 2/3 of the size of Western Europe, that it is a member of both the East and Southern Africa blocs. The two regional groups are joining forces to hold an emergency summit on Saturday to try and end the fighting. So who are the main players and what do they want? Democratic Republic of Congo, the besieged giant. First and foremost is the Congolese president, Felix Tshisekedi. He wants to regain territory lost to the rebels, including the largest eastern town of Goma, and to prevent them from seizing more. He blames Rwandan leader Paul Kagame for backing the M23 with weapons and troops, accusing Kigali of invading Congolese territory with the aim of looting the country's mineral wealth and orchestrating regime change. The case that Rwanda is supporting the M23 offensive is based on evidence presented in a UN report and broadly accepted by many African and Western governments who have demanded that Kagame withdraw his forces. However, to Tshisekedi's frustration, none have matched their rhetoric with action and responded to Kinshasa's calls for sanctions and other tough measures. The Congolese leader is also worried about keeping his seat. I think the political survival of his government is at stake, said Jason Stearns, a former UN investigator in DR Congo and currently a professor at Simon Fraser University. There is concern that the M23 campaign might embolden internal opposition forces or trigger a coup in his army, which has a reputation terrible today, which has a reputation for being fragmented and undermined by corruption. What's the fighting in DR Congo all about? Rwanda. Actually, let us go here, right? What is the fighting about? What's the fighting in DR Congo all about? Why are they fighting? The mineral-rich east of the Democratic Republic of Congo has been dogged by conflict for more than 30 years since the 1994 Rwandan genocide. Numerous armed groups have competed with the central authorities for power and control of the potential fortune in this vast nation. The instability has sucked in neighboring countries to devastating effect. Notoriously, in the 90s, when two huge conflicts, dubbed Africa's World Wars, resulted in the deaths of millions of people. What is happening in Goma? After a rapid advance in the region, fighters from the M23 rebel group have captured almost all of Goma, a major city of more than 1 million people in the east of DR Congo. People are dying, y'all. People are dying. People are being raped. People are being brutalized. Sitting on the border with Rwanda and the shores of Lake Kivu, it is a vital trading and transport hub that is within reach of mining towns supplying metals and minerals in high demand such as gold, tin, and coltan, which is a key component of mobile phones and other consumer electronics. UN aid agencies have warned of a major humanitarian crisis with shortage of food and water, hospitals overwhelmed by casualties and bodies lying on the streets. The M23 has also threatened to continue its offensive to the capital, Kinshasa, although analysts say this may be likely as it is 1,600 miles away on the other side of this vast country. Who are the M23? The M23 are led by ethnic Tutsis who say they needed to take up arms to protect the rights of the minority group. They say that several previous deals to end the fighting have not been respected. They take their name from a peace agreement that was signed on March 23, 2009. Shortly after its creation in 2012, the M23 rapidly gained territory and seized Goma, acts that were met with international opprobrium and accusations of war crimes and human rights violations. It was forced to withdraw from Goma and then suffered a series of heavy defeats at the hands of the Congolese army along with the UN force that saw it expelled from the country. M23 fighters then agreed to be integrated into the army in return for promises that Tutsis would be protected. But in 2021, the group took up arms again, saying the promises had been broken. Yo, it's a lot happening, guys. It's a lot happening. It said, what are the UN peacekeepers doing? A UN peacekeeping mission has been in place since 1999. The current force, known as MONUSCO, is made up of more than 10,000 troops. However, of these, only the Force Intervention Brigade is allowed to carry out offensive operations against armed groups. It was this force that helped defeat the M23 in 2013. MONUSCO has been the target of anger from ordinary Congolese who see it as failing to do its job. President Felix Tshisekedi, deeming the mission a failure, had asked it to leave by the end of last year. But the departure was delayed. In December, the mission was extended for another year. The Southern African Development Community, SADC, a regional grouping of 16 countries, has also deployed a military force to eastern DR Congo, but it has been unable to halt the rebels. South Africa said, yo, it's craziness happening. Craziness all over the world. We as a human family have to do more. We have to do more to push peace, to push love, to push, communication. Whenever there's big money involved, whenever there's resources involved, valuable resources involved, unfortunately, it seems like human lives are the least important thing. Human lives are the least appreciated thing, right? We seem to appreciate gold, silver, coltan, and other materials, right? Natural elements, but we don't appreciate, and we know that we value the natural element that is life, that is breath, that is flesh, that is skin, that is bone, that is mind and thought, right? I can't even imagine, what some of the brothers and sisters are going through over there, especially when you are having your family and friends' lives destroyed, when you're having your life uprooted by people who look like you, right? That has to be the toughest thing. People who look like you, people who speak like you, people who grew up where you grew up, people who are from where you are from. That has to be the toughest thing. That has to be like it's tough, period, right? Whoever is happening, but when you look and you are being brutalized by people who look like you, sound like you, who have some of the same names as you, right? prayers for our people in Congo. In the Congo, prayers for our people in Sudan. Prayers and thoughts and healing vibrations that these acts come to an end as soon as possible, right? Like immediately, in an immediate end to the seizure, to the occupation, to the terrorism going on in Congo, man. Let us move right along to the third segment of the day. Today's third segment, our tip of the day. Today's tip is to allow people room to grow. Hey, Sensima, what's going on, sister girl? Peace and love. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for tuning into the show. Again, today's tip of the day is allow people room to grow. Don't be so conscious that you alienate yourself from loved ones and people that could benefit from your knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Don't be so conscious that you remove yourself, you alienate yourself from people who could benefit from your knowledge, your wisdom, your understanding, your lived experience. There are people who they're in your life, right? They're in your sphere, they're in your network, and they could benefit from you. They could benefit from your knowledge on health. They could benefit from your experience as a husband. They could benefit from your experience as a mom. They could benefit from like aspects of your life that you may be ashamed of, or you may not be so proud of, or you may not feel like you're doing so great, right? These people, they may be living lives that is different than how you think they should be living. They may be in the streets. They may be like in the streets in different ways, whether, engaging in, promiscuous sex. They may be, doing drugs, selling drugs. They may be doing a lot of things that you think they shouldn't be doing. So you alienate yourself. You push them away and say, I don't deal with. But then you're not in service to the creator when you do that. Like, you're not in service of your mission and your purpose. Right now, again, if that's something you choose to do, like, but then you're not allowing people room to grow. And I get that, never am I saying be a sucker. Never am I saying be a doormat. Never am I saying let people walk all over you. Never am I saying forget what people have done to harm or things like that. No, I'm saying don't alienate yourself from people, not so much family and friends who you have, conflict with, who there's a lot of, unspoken things. I'm not talking about that. That too, like, deal with it. But I'm speaking specifically people in your neighborhood, people in your school, people who live, close to where you live, people who work where you work, right? People you see on the train, people, right, who may know of you. You may not know, they may not be in your family, but they know of you. And you got some experiences that they could benefit from. But because you talk about, people shouldn't be selling drugs and everybody sell drugs is bad, or people shouldn't be out there just having random sex, they bad, or, man, you alienate yourself. You push people away like, oh, damn, I can't talk to that person. Like, they're going to judge me. They're going to ridicule me. They're going to condemn me. They're going to talk bad about me. And nobody wants to be spoken bad about. Nobody. Doesn't matter how strong you are, how tough your skin is. Nobody wants to be talked about in that way. All right. But let us move right along. All right, on to our fourth and final segment of the day. Today's fourth segment, our build of the day. Today's build is on MJ on Broadway. Listen, the show was by far one of the greatest things I've ever seen. MJ on Broadway. I was singing. I can't dance when I was in my seat moving, right? Like, I was so inspired, man. A few times I almost cried. I got choked up, almost cried a few times, right? But an absolutely phenomenal show, man. The dancing, the singing, the creativity, the set design, the production, the choreography, like everything was on point, right? Like, again, I've been to a few, not a whole lot of Broadway shows. I've been to a few, but MJ on Broadway, like, might have been like the best thing I've seen. The other thing I've seen that I could compare it with, it wasn't on Broadway, New York, but my nephew was in a show in Chicago, and that show was freaking phenomenal. Like that was phenomenal. Even if it wasn't my nephew, like, that was phenomenal. So, like, that show, this show, Wicked. I seen Wicked years ago, right? Wicked was dope, right? I saw a few other shows over the years, right? More so years ago, not much recently. But MJ on Broadway is a must see, right? Singing my heart out. I was not singing my heart out, girl. You fronting. Happy Mother Loving Monday, baby. I was not singing my heart out. You are exaggerated, right? I was contributing to the space, singing just a little bit, right? But yeah, by far the best show. One of the best shows, again, top two. That and my nephew's show, and either one could be one, right? Like either one could be number one. Yo, K Kenzo, what's going on, my brother? Peace and love. Thank you for tuning in. Episode 299 of SR Daily. We're talking about the MJ on Broadway performance. And then at intermission, something crazy started happening, right? So you guys know I got some MJ jackets. Right? I got some MJ inspired, MJ themed MJ jackets, right? Not from MJ, but definitely his vibe, right? So I had one of my MJ jackets on. I had my shades on, and you know what I mean. I had my glove on. You know what I mean. And man, listen, people want to take pictures of me. People say, "Yo, can I take a picture with you? Can I take a picture with you? Can I take a picture of you?" Want to take pictures of me, pictures with me, right? One lady was like, even down to the sneakers. I had my gold sneakers on. All right, they was like, "Look at that outfit." And then Mona was like, at one point, right, when the show was over, and people was looking, want to take pictures, like, you should charge them. They're like, how much? Like $50. It's like, I was like 20, right? Lady was like, okay, man. I was like, talk to my manager. But yeah, I didn't charge, right? We didn't charge. I didn't get any money. I didn't get any money Friday, but it made me think that is something, right? People do that, right? And that's not something I want to spend time doing, like going out. But it's something that, you know what? I got a certain outfit on. Let's go. I actually want to go back to the play. I want to go back over there, right, one day. And I want to stand outside, and I want to see. I want to dress up with the outfit. I want to see if people want to take pictures. And if people want to take pictures, you charge them $10, $20 a picture. All right, I think $20 is quick. $50 again. Tourists may pay it. People may pay it. I don't know. We could give it a shot. But $20 a picture, $10 a picture. You take, right, $20 a picture. You take 10 pictures. That's $200. Right, that's $200 quick, fast, in a freaking hurry. Right. So yeah. We're gonna look into that. We're gonna look into that, love. First time was free. Prices went up. Heard you. heard you. But no, definitely, it was a super dope show. If you're able to, please go see the show. Right. Whether you're a fan of whether you're a fan of Michael Jackson or not, if you are a fan of theater, if you're a fan of Broadway, if you're a fan of acting, of musicals, then you should definitely go see MJ on Broadway. Again, one of the most incredible shows. From start to finish. Right, from start to finish, it was entertaining, it was engaging, it was funny, it was humorous, it was emotional, right? It was, again, I love, one of the things I loved the most, I loved how they went from, like, for example, one of the characters, or the character that played, Joe Jackson, he was also, when they would go back to younger Mike, right? The character was Joe Jackson. Then they would have come back to present day, adult Mike. He was, I think, the creative director of the tour director, right? Because he was directing stuff on stage. So like, and they would go back and forth so quick and subtle. Like they'll be like, the young Mike will come on and they'll be, lighting will go over here, and it'll be something from, Mike's childhood, and then it'll come back over here. Older Mike will come back over here and he'll mention something, and then I was like, yo, production is incredible. The direction is incredible, like phenomenal. I want to go see it again, right? I want to go see it again. I don't know if I will, but I want to. I'm thinking about it. Yeah. But dope show, guys. Go check it out. MJ on Broadway. Thank you for the date, my love. Appreciate you. Grateful. Was there with, brother and, son. Super dope vibe, man. Friday night was lit. And guys, with that is the show. Episode 299, kicking off week 61. I'm your boy, your host, LaShawn Sugar Ray Marston. Thank you so much for tuning in. SR Daily, with personality meets enlightenment. We will be right back here tomorrow for episode 300. I got goosebumps as I'm thinking about it, but tomorrow it is absolutely going down. Episode 300 of SR Daily. We will be in New Jersey live from Ben & Jerry's, man. Super excited to start this partnership with Ben & Jerry's. Super excited to build on this relationship with Ben & Jerry's, man. So again, if you are in New York, if you're in New Jersey, and you want to join us tomorrow, please hit me up. If you see the show and you want to come to Jersey, hit me up. It's some space. All right, we got some space. I got some folks I'm interviewing. Got some folks gonna be in the audience. It should be an incredible time. I'm really, really excited. So I see you all guys tomorrow. Tomorrow again, special episode, 1 hour, 60 minutes, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., not 9:30. So get your popcorn, right? Get your ice cream. And if you can't make it in person, join us from your home, join us from your work, your office. Just join us tomorrow. It's going to be an absolutely beautiful show. And with that, guys, I'm out. Remember, it ain't getting knocked down. That's part of the problem. It's staying down. So get up. The power is in you. As always, be kind to yourself and be kind to each other. Peace and love.